2014, a small Swedish company walked into the Geneva Motor Show and casually announced a car that made every superpower in the automotive world look behind their shoulder. Not Ferrari, not Lamborghini, not Bugatti. A car with 1,341 horsepower, weighing exactly 1,341 kilograms. A perfect 1-to-1 ratio of power to weight. A ratio so insane, so mathematically pure, that Koenigsegg named the entire car after it. The 1-to-1. And here's what should terrify you. 12 years later, most of the cars being called the future of hypercars still cannot touch what this machine did in 2014. Let's go back to the beginning, because the story of the 1-1 doesn't start in Geneva. It starts in a small town in Sweden called Ängelholm, inside a converted military hangar, where a man named Christian von Koenigsegg had spent over a decade building cars that the entire industry told him were impossible. Koenigsegg wasn't a brand with a 100-year legacy. They didn't have the factory floors of Stuttgart or Maranello. What they had was an obsession with one thing and one thing only, the absolute limit of what a road-legal car could be. By 2011, the Agera had already made people nervous. But Christian wanted more. He wanted to build what he called a mega car. Not a supercar, not a hypercar. Something beyond that. A car that would redefine the category entirely. The concept was simple and brutal. 1 horsepower for every 1 kilogram of car. A ratio that Formula One cars dream about. To make it happen, Koenigsegg engineers took their 5.0-liter twin turbocharged V8 engine and pushed it to 1,341 horsepower and 1,371 Newton-meters of torque. They then stripped and rebuilt the carbon fiber monocoque body until the car weighed exactly 1,341 kilograms dry. The math wasn't a coincidence. It was the entire point. Now let's talk about what that actually means on the road, because numbers on paper are one thing. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 2.8 seconds. Fine, plenty of cars do that today. 0 to 200 kilometers per hour, under 7 seconds. Getting interesting. 0 to 300 kilometers per hour, under 10 seconds. Now we are in completely different territory. And the claimed top speed, 450 kilometers per hour, 280 miles per hour. To understand why that last number mattered so much in 2014, consider what the benchmark was at the time. The Bugatti Veyron Supersport held the production car speed record at 431 kilometers per hour. It had 268 employees working on it. It had Volkswagen Group's entire engineering empire behind it. And the 1-to-1, built by a team that could fit inside a small restaurant, was announcing it would go faster. Only 7 cars were ever built. 1 prototype, called Thor, kept by Koenigsegg. 6 customer cars, each one hand-built, each one slightly different based on the owner's specification. The price was approximately $2,800,000. Every single one sold before the car was even officially revealed. Here is where the story gets even more interesting, because the 1-to-1 wasn't just fast in a straight line. Koenigsegg built active aerodynamics into this machine, at a time when active aero on road cars was still being treated as science fiction by most manufacturers. The front splitter, rear wing, and diffuser all moved dynamically depending on speed, cornering forces, and driver input. The system could generate over 600 kilograms of downforce at top speed, pressing the car into the road with a force equal to almost half the car's own weight. This was 2014. This wasn't some concept car that never left the auto show floor. This was a car that customers drove. In 2015, Koenigsegg brought the 1-to-1 to Suzuka circuit in Japan for a record attempt. The goal was the 0 to 400 kilometers per hour and back to zero run, one of the most demanding tests of combined power, braking, and mechanical grip that exists. The car completed the run, though due to a mechanical issue during the attempt, the time was not submitted for official certification. But the raw capability was there, visibly and undeniably, on camera. Also in 2015, one customer, 1-to-1, was involved in a serious crash during the Nürburgring 24 Hours event. Not during racing, but during a practice session on the public toll lap. The car was destroyed. The driver survived. It was a sobering reminder that this machine operated at the very edge of what physics permits. Now, here is the question that should keep every hypercar manufacturer awake at night. It is 2026, 12 years after the 1-to-1 debuted. The Bugatti Chee-ron Supersport produces 1,578 horsepower. The Koenigsegg Jesko, which came after the 1-to-1, produces 1,600 horsepower on standard fuel. The Rimac Nevra, a fully electric hypercar, produces 1,914 horsepower and reaches 100 kilometers per hour in 1.97 seconds. But look at what these cars weigh. The Chee-ron Supersport weighs 2,268 kilograms. The Nevera weighs 2,150 kilograms. These are extraordinary machines, but they are carrying enormous weight relative to their power. The 1-to-1 had a power-to-weight ratio that none of these cars have matched. The Jesko Absolute, Koenigsegg's current flagship, comes the closest with its theoretical 330 mph top speed and a power-to-weight figure that edges toward the 1-to-1's benchmark. But notice something. The company that built the 1-to-1 in 2014 is still the company setting the conversation 12 years later. What makes this story genuinely remarkable is not just the engineering. It is what the 1-to-1 represented philosophically. Every major manufacturer in 2014 was focused on refinement, on comfort alongside performance, on making powerful cars that were also livable, usable, accessible. The arms race was about adding features, adding weight management systems, adding luxury alongside fury. Koenigsegg's answer was a complete rejection of that philosophy. Strip everything that doesn't make the car faster. Make the car lighter. Make the power-to-weight ratio the entire identity. Do not apologize for it. That clarity of vision, that refusal to compromise the core mission, is exactly why automotive engineers still reference the 1-to-1 when they talk about the theoretical upper boundary of what a combustion-powered road car can achieve. 7 cars. That's it. 7 cars built in a Swedish town that most people outside Scandinavia cannot pronounce, and they changed the entire conversation about what a road car was capable of. The Koenigsegg 1-to-1 is not a museum piece. It is not a footnote. It is a warning to every brand that thinks throwing more horsepower at a heavy platform is the path forward. Because in 2014, a small team in Ängelholm proved that the real weapon was never just power. It was the ratio. If you have never spent serious time studying what Koenigsegg has built over the last 2 decades, you are missing one of the most extraordinary stories in automotive history. Not corporate history, not marketing history, engineering history. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into the cars that actually moved the needle, not the ones that just sold the most posters. Drop a comment below. Which car do you think has finally surpassed what the 1-to-1 did in 2014? The answer might surprise you once you actually run the numbers.